What is up, guys? It's your boy, Voop Cacus, and today we are going to be discussing what I think is the single best weapon coming out of Season of the Wish. Like, in terms of impact on the meta, in terms of making its way into loadouts for myself and pretty much everyone I play with. Guys, if you could only craft one single weapon from this season, if you're wondering what to target focus, it's gotta be the Scatter Signal Legendary Fusion Rifle. So, right off the bat, this has several unique qualities. It is the first ever rapid fire frame Strand Fusion Rifle, and also the first ever rapid fire frame fusion rifle in the game that can get certain absolute god tier perks, and we will talk about that. But let's just right off the bat say that just the fact that this is Strand this season is a huge deal. You have seasonal artifact perks that are massively enhancing the capabilities of Strand weapons. So as you can see right here, hey, pick up an Orb of Power, which like every build wants to be doing anyways, and you get unraveling rounds. So everyone you shoot, as you can see, will become unraveled, they're gonna take additional damage, and you have those little thread objects go off and hit nearby enemies as well. It is a fantastically powerful capability. And if that wasn't enough, you have another seasonal artifact perk that will constantly spawn threadlings when you shoot an unraveled target. Well, that's already insane. But if that wasn't enough, there's another seasonal artifact perk here that will actually make you do bonus weapon damage against Strand debuffed targets, so unraveled counts, if you're Radiant. Well, that means you can use a solar weapon, and remember, since they're in different slots, you can use a Strand and solar weapon at the same time, and then use this seasonal artifact perk that makes it so that if you're just using a solar weapon and you get multiple final blows or precision shots, you become Radiant. So just by utilizing Strand weaponry, and especially in combination with solar weaponry, you are just getting absolutely insane passive bonuses that just increase your lethality to almost comical capabilities. Like you're gonna see in the background gameplay, I'm shooting, unraveling everybody, threadlings are jumping off of targets and hitting even more guys. I'm becoming Radiant if I switch to my primary. It's all just absurd. Compare that to using a void weapon where you do literally nothing. Like, I mean, seriously, come on. Now, on top of that, the Scatter Signal itself can get some incredibly good perks and is arguably the new best in slot fusion rifle for PvE, certainly for that kinetic-like Strand slot. So, first of all, you can actually get in that first main perk slot, as you can see right here, Overflow, which says picking up special or heavy ammo automatically loads this weapon beyond normal capacity. So if you put on a battery that increases the magazine size to 8, that means if you're picking up special ammo, you can get this thing to 18 rounds in the magazine. That is absurd. And it also means that if this thing is stowed away, let's say you've run out of ammo, you're now switching to your heavy or your primary, and then you run over some special that has just dropped, when you switch back to it, it will be automatically reloaded. So often when you're actually using this thing against bosses, and I've used it many times against the final boss within the Warlord's Ruin dungeon, you just dump all your ammo in one glorious damage phase, because it has 16 rounds, so you're probably going to, not have to reload the entire time you're damaging the boss, but then you just stow it away. You play normally, you go and kill the rest of the adds, you pick up ammo, and then by the time you get to the next boss damage phase, you whip it out, it's fully overflowed to 16 rounds again and reloaded and ready to go. You'll actually never need to actually see the reload animation of this gun. Now, I will say there's a bit of an argument for the new perk Slice, where casting your class ability allows this weapon to sever targets on hit. Sever is another Strand debuff that will cause that target to do less damage output, and that is going to synergize with the seasonal artifact perk that boosts damage against strand debuffed targets. So you could just use Slice and then not have to use the Unraveling Rounds perk. But in my opinion, like at a base level, Overflow is just so much better. Like when we get into the next season, eventually in June when Final Shape comes out, you know, and these seasonal artifact perks are not around, Overflow is the clear best choice. And even now, I would just use the Unraveling Rounds seasonal artifact perk because it's so amazing. So for me, again, Overflow is the clear choice in this first slot. And then in the second slot, I mean, there's really no argument here. It has absolutely got to be Controlled Burst. This is arguably the best PvE perk for fusion rifles in the entire game, and this is the first time ever we're seeing it available on a rapid fire frame fusion, which is arguably the best archetype for PvE. So the best PvE perk finally on the best PvE archetype, you can see why this is a big deal. Now I'm going right for the enhanced version because it's so good, and what this perk says is landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and reduced charge time for an improved duration. So it is the DPS double whammy, okay? You have both increased damage. Like you hit every shot in a burst, and that's so important. It's on hit. You don't have to get a final blow. So if you're against a boss, you just need one shot for it to be active for the next 15 rounds to come if you have Overflow, and then you also get reduced charge time. So it's shooting faster and doing more damage. Just an incredibly good perk here. And the result is a rapid-fire fusion rifle that can put out an absurd amount of damage. It's great against clearing ads, especially when you do have those unraveling rounds, but it is really monstrous against more powerful enemies, stuff like yellow bars, champions, and even bosses. So 18 rounds, the first shot just needs to hit every single like pellet, so to speak, in that shot. So you do have to get up close and personal, but every boss in Destiny is an enlarged version of a normal ad, so they're pretty big, they're pretty easy actually to hit like all of your shots on, and then for the next 17 rounds, the next 16 rounds, whatever your magazine is, you are just shooting faster, doing more damage, potentially unraveling, potentially spawning like non-stop hatchlings. The damage output is just absurd, right? Like we are talking about damage output that matches or is close to stuff like, you know, shotguns, precision frame shotguns, sniper rifles, and so on, but you have a fusion rifle. Like a fusion rifle in terms of taking down the rest of the enemies you're faced with, right? Like you're not always DPSing the boss, right? In that case, yeah, maybe a sniper rifle is going to do more damage. But for the rest of the encounter, just dealing with normal ads, having that rapid fire frame fusion rifle that can just one-shot kill a lot of ads out here, a quick two-shot to kill a lot of yellow bars, it's so much easier to use than something like a sniper rifle and so many activities. It just has so much usage. It has so much capability, and it's just really like the best in its class. I don't think I'm going to be using another fusion rifle for PvE, like unless another rapid fire with somehow better perks comes out here, because this has outclassed in its entire competition when it comes to the other fusion rifles with controlled burst, because those are in suboptimal damage archetypes. Strand gives it so much power this season. Like there's just no reason to use the other option, right? You had rapid fire frames before, stuff like the Cartesian. The Cartesian had Vorpal. Vorpal just pales in comparison to what controlled burst can do. Like Vorpal just, you're gonna fall so far behind in DPS compared to controlled burst, right? And so again, the scatter signal is the new best in slot. When you're talking about a PvE focused fusion, it's the scattered signal. And this is awesome because it's actually been a few seasons. It's been a while since I've really seen an unbelievably good and super desirable weapon I wanted to craft and incorporate into my loadouts. Like in Season of the Deep, I'm not using a single one of those like takenized weapons. Like not a single one is incorporated into any build. But this has made its way into multiple builds. Like, as soon as I crafted this, I've been using this a ton. And so it really kind of shows the difference in like how much of a standout weapon this is for the season. So guys, 100% craft it, try the roll I've recommended, and for goodness sakes, have those artifact perks selected and you will absolutely schlap everything you come across. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. And if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.